Hello and welcome back to We're Talking Tea. Tonight we'll be getting into the Married to Medicine Season 12 Episode 14. But before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so that you do not miss out on the next time that we talk tea. Tonight we will be sipping on Teleport, 18%. Gotta love it. So let's get into it. We all know this is the day of the Met Gala. But before we start the Met Gala, we have Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone having lunch. I'm guessing at one of their offices. They're sitting outside and they're having lunch. And they talk about the conversation with Curtis talking to King about being married before you bring a baby into the situation and stuff like that. So that was a whole situation. Jackie did not like it. She was aware of what happened and she doesn't know how Quiet is going to handle all of this information. Right now, that was her doctor with the whole IVF thing. So they kind of talked briefly on that. Then they got into the convo about Toya and the Met Gala, of course. And then Toya not including Brandy, Angel, and Mimi. But she still wanted them to donate. Of course, Toya, that is not okay. You shouldn't expect these people to give their coin and not be a part of it. So that was that. Then we had, they went to Mimi and Steve. She was cooking in the kitchen and they were talking about building their new home that's 8,500 square feet. And what school their son Stevie is going to go to because they want him to still be able to have the same curriculum as he currently have and still be able to make friends and do sports and things like that. So that was, good news that they're, buying a home and being able to keep him in the same way he's functioning currently. So then we had Toya and Eugene go and view his new office. And now he has an office with windows because what Contessa was offering him didn't have any windows and that was not enough. Toya said, no, sir, we're not doing that. So now he has a new office building and it's 20 minutes away from the house. So she's going to have him closer to home now. But Eugene changed jobs more than a little bit. Like, come on now. Figure it out and stick with it. Also, we had Heavenly and Mimi have a conversation. And, of course, Toya is always a topic of discussion whenever it's Mimi and Heavenly involved. They always have to talk about Toya. And they were talking about the issue with Toya just wanting to give their money and not knowing where it went. But I feel like they just want to argue. Whenever it's Toya involved, they just want to argue. And, like, come on now. Why? But that's all Heavenly does is argue. She argue, and I'm over it already. So then we had... always still Mimi just kind of jeffing and agreeing with everything Heavenly says. Then you had Toya say she might strangle somebody when her and Eugene was talking. And Eugene was like, okay, like, I got your bail money, babe. Do what you got to do. Then we had Simone did a redo with the kids in dinner because the last time she had a total meltdown. So she decided to do a redo. And it turned out great. The kids apologized. Cecil apologized. And they all hugged. And they said they want to do better. And Michael was like, I really want to strive to make sure I give y'all everything y'all ever wanted. Take y'all on trips to places y'all ain't never been in. So trust me, I'm looking out for you, Ma. You don't have to worry. So that was good for her to hear. That was confirmation that she's done a great job. And she may be able to see some light at the end of the tunnel. So then we had Contessa talking about the venue location. They weren't given the location until 48 hours before the event. Now, knowing Toya probably didn't want them to know where the venue was because they was going to want to look it up, do the research, and be like, hey, well, this is all our money paid for. But that's not what all your money paid for. But anyway, so then we had Mimi and Stevie not wanting to pay to get in. They didn't want to pay for a ticket. They was just expecting to come on in without paying. And he was like, we gave $5,000 last year. So what? What Eugene say? Last year's price is not this year's price. I'm going to need you to come up off that $150 per person. So he paid it. But then later on in the episode, he kind of gave this whole hoopla about, well, I could have came in and bought this and bought that and bought this and bought that and would have spent way more than $300. Well, baby, it's for charity. So if you choose not to come in and purchase things, that's totally up to you. But before you come into this threshold, I'm going to need that coin. Okay? Thank you. And make sure you inform your wife that I need that coin as well. Or you can pay for the both of y'all, but I need that coin. So then Mimi was complaining because she said they're serving chicken wings. Okay, they serve chicken wings. If you would stop complaining and would have just talked to Toya and say, hey, Toya, what's on the menu? Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? But y'all are just falling back to see her fail. And she did not fail. It was an amazing event. But I'm going to get to that. So then we had Stevie having a conversation. Steve. I want to keep on calling him Stevie. That's his son name. Mimi and Steve was having a conversation with Eugene, talking about how he felt disrespected and he could have pulled him to the side and had that conversation about the money. Why are we even having this conversation anyway? You've already paid the money. You're here. We can talk about this at a later time. Clearly, you want to have a moment. Baby, Toya said, move that moment to the back. You ain't about to mess up my event. This is doctors involved. No, we're not about to do that. Then Mimi came on over, wanted to put her 2 cents in. And then they kind of went to paying to everybody else. She called all the ladies, so she called all the ladies to the stage. And she thanked them all for being there. Then I think Simone and Toya had a conversation first before she went there. She was like, I think you need to still have a conversation with all the ladies because they did come, they did support you. So then she called all the ladies on stage. And she presented the 2 young ladies with their checks. And I was a little concerned because Heavenly wanted the mic. She gave Heavenly the mic. But Heavenly was nice. She thanked Toya. She said she did a wonderful job. And I was amazed. But let's get to it. Because Toya did do a good job. Y'all was expecting her to fail. And she showed up and she showed out. It was amazing. Everybody had something positive to say about the way Toya showed up and showed out. Now, a lot of people didn't tell Toya to her face, like Contessa or Mimi. Y'all could have told her to her face, Toya, you did such a great job. But no, you just was bickering and having conversations on the side to other people instead of telling her to her face that she did an amazing job. It is what it is. She's just trying to get things up and running to make y'all excel in the Met Gala. So that's all I have for this episode. I'm looking forward to this reunion. We're going to see how it goes. But y'all have a good night. Until next time that we talk tea. Bye.